Well, the former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel has called out what he says are new forms of discrimination at health facilities. Manuel was speaking on the last day of the annual Allan Gray Makers Fest, where he also called for true transformation. Allan Gray Makers program focuses on nurturing and developing entrepreneurs who help to create meaningful employment.
In his address to the conference participants, the former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel spoke out on what he says is wrong with the country.
In this country, and I want to just digress and talk about them. I get very deeply hurt when I see that there's new forms of discrimination practiced, where we say this one is too dark to go to our hospital. That one doesn't speak the same language as I do. They shouldn't be allowed in our hospital. What have we become? You see, our Constitution says South Africa belongs to all who live in it. What have we become? And we must never allow that kind of behavior to shape who we are and how we relate to each other. We must call it out because it's wrong. And then, let me look for nyaga nyaga. That is what passes for empowerment. You see, big companies find black shareholders. They say, look, we'll make you a shareholder. And every year you will get a dividend. What do we do for that? Nothing. And we call that empowerment. And so the companies tick a box because the act requires you to tick that box, and you continue doing what you've always done, but now you say we're an empowered company. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't require any action of people who call themselves empowered by that process. Now, I want to be clear about the fact that apartheid excluded us from participation in the economy, and we do need ways to increase inclusion, but we must ensure that it is fully transformative. We must not relax about it because companies can check boxes that say, oh, we've got so many black shareholders.
Another former Finance Minister, who is now chairman of the board at Tebe Investment Corporation, detailed how South Africans should be directing their efforts in order to reduce unemployment, currently sitting at 34.5%.
The first question that policymakers and societal partners should start with is how much business must be created to, for example, have unemployment. The first calculation should not be about how many jobs we want to create. That's because job creation is the outcome of something else. Jobs don't create themselves, I've said so. They're created by people who start businesses, the outcome of which is job creation. The obsession with job creation runs the risk of distorting public policy and shifting effort and resources to projects that don't create jobs. You come up with a brilliant idea, but instead of that project creating jobs, perhaps it takes away jobs.
Allan Gray says it believes that entrepreneurship is the best way to counter the triple challenges of unemployment, inequality, and poverty.
Students with technical talent really can take their trades and make it an entrepreneurial pursuits that, one, create economic opportunities so they can employ other young people who are unemployed, and they then increase the revenue and a tax base for the country. So we believe if we can get students with technical talent, with entrepreneurial spirit, we can make a dent in unemployment, inequality, and poverty.
Among the sessions that were hosted was a discussion on female-owned businesses, particularly those in the artisan trade. The session explored their journey and how their businesses can contribute meaningfully to the economy.
I'm trying to break that barrier of being women always being in the background and the men being out there in the industry and all of that. So I chose this also business because it's something that I really, really enjoy doing. And yeah, I am also a qualified plumber by profession, and I'm an engineer technician. We really do pay much attention to the smaller details. So most women are very attentive when it comes to the way of working. They always start and I think that we also are able to multitask with regarding to the admin work and also working in in the field.
Our key mandate and focus is reading for meaning and calculating with confidence by 2030, having all kids in South Africa, very audacious, all kids in South Africa, we want to see them reading and counting with confidence. Now, how does this play in the bigger economy role? So there is a saying that I love. My friend Nobisa Makaluza always says, there's two contraceptives in stopping us, or two contraceptives in employment and in a healthy economy, is that education is one, and an enabling environment for a growing economy. So I guess as Fundawande, to be able to see a very holistic economy system, we obviously fall in the education space, is to say we need to prepare the future of this country for the skills that they need and everything, to be able to function as a citizen in a country. So, and we say you need basic reading, you need basic maths to be able to function in this world.